She was 18 years old, standing at the threshold of her dreams, a spirited young woman with a voice that could light up any room. But on a July night in 2011, Lauren Ashley's light was extinguished by someone she had once held closest to her heart. This is the tragic story of obsession, mental illness, and a love that turned deadly. Malcolm Ashley received a call that would shatter his world forever. His daughter's car had been found abandoned at Wanton Beach, windows rolled down, keys still inside. He rushed to the scene, torch in hand, desperately searching the dark waters, clinging to the faint hope that he might still save her. But the beach held no answers, only silence. Lauren Ashley was born on April 1, 1993 in Boston, Massachusetts. Her parents, Mary and Malcolm Esty, were both teachers who instilled in their daughter the values of honesty and integrity from an early age. Though they divorced in 2006, they remained united in their devotion to Lauren. She was their entire world. By 18, Lauren had become the kind of person people gravitated toward. She stood just 4'11", but her presence was magnetic. She sang in her school's a cappella group, played tennis and soccer, performed in the church choir, and even landed the lead role in Annie at the local arts center. She was a camp counselor, a youth volunteer, and someone friends turned to when they needed help. When she was just 12, she traveled to New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina to assist flood victims. She went back twice more. Helping others wasn't just something Lauren did, it was who she was. At Wayland High School, Lauren became something of a trendsetter. Her energy was contagious. Her warmth was genuine. Everyone wanted to be around her. But there was one person who wanted more than that, someone who wanted to possess her completely. His name was Nathaniel Fuja. Nathan was the star quarterback at Wayland High School, tall, athletic, and one of the most popular students on campus. He was the son of Tom and Bate Fuja. Tom was a talented guitarist who taught at Boston's Berklee College of Music. Nathan had known Lauren since childhood, but it wasn't until high school that they started dating. For the first 2 years, things seemed perfect. They were the golden couple, the kind of relationship people envied. But something changed. The relationship became turbulent. Arguments came more frequently. They fell into a cycle of breaking up and reconciling, only to repeat it all over again. Nathan became possessive. He grew jealous of the time Lauren spent helping others, volunteering, performing. He wanted all of her attention for himself. And when he didn't get it, he became angry. There was an incident in 2009 that nobody forgot. Lauren had gone to a school dance and met a boy who showed interest in her. Nathan appeared suddenly and shoved the young man violently, threatening to slit his throat if he ever came near Lauren again. It was a chilling moment that revealed the darkness lurking beneath Nathan's surface. By senior year, Lauren had grown tired of the arguments, tired of the jealousy, tired of the emotional drain. She looked ahead to her future. She had been accepted to Elon University in North Carolina. Nathan had been offered a football scholarship to Trinity College in Connecticut, a dream he'd held since childhood. It was the perfect time to move on. They were heading in different directions. It was over. On her birthday in April 2011, Lauren ended their relationship. She considered it one of the best days of her life. But for Nathan, it was a catastrophe. He couldn't accept it. He couldn't move on. The football player who once had everything became a shell of himself. He stopped training. He stopped going out. He spent his days on a couch, drinking heavily and smoking marijuana daily. His mother, Bate, was terrified watching her son deteriorate. She took him to a psychiatrist who diagnosed him with severe clinical depression. She even went to the mall where Lauren worked, desperate to find some way to help her son reconnect with his life. Nathan couldn't bear the thought of Lauren being with someone else. At a graduation party in the summer of 2011, he approached her, desperate to reconcile. Lauren told him firmly to leave her alone. They had already broken up. They had talked it through. It was over. But Nathan was drunk and he was angry. He trailed her all night, refusing to let her dance with anyone else. His rage built and built. At one point, he stormed up and punched one of the tent poles with all his strength. The entire tent collapsed. Everyone at the party turned on him, telling him to leave. The celebration was ruined. Nathan's behavior that night should... In early July 2011, Lauren took a job at a clothing store in the mall. She wanted to earn some money before starting college. On July 3rd, she arrived for her shift at 10 in the morning. Security cameras recorded her entering the mall and riding the escalator up to the second floor. At 6:45 that evening, her shift ended. She was seen leaving the building while talking on her phone. This would be the last time anyone saw Lauren Ashley alive. She had planned to meet friends for a walk after work, but she never showed up. This was completely unlike her. If something came up, she would always let someone know. Her father, Malcolm, knew immediately that something was terribly wrong. He called the police right away. That same night, police discovered Lauren's red Jeep parked at Wanton Beach. The windows were down. Her bag and laptop were inside, but Lauren was nowhere to be found. Malcolm rushed to the beach, running from the car to the water with a torch in his hand, searching the dark shoreline in desperation. He couldn't find her. Her friends spent the night at the beach, sitting by the shore, waiting, hoping, wondering where she could have gone. When police began questioning her close friends and family, one name kept coming up, Nathaniel Fuja, but everyone insisted he couldn't have hurt her. He was upset about the breakup, sure, moody, sure, but dangerous. Nobody thought so. Police went to the Fuja house that evening. Nathan told them he had been home all day. He claimed Lauren had stopped by for about 5 minutes that afternoon. She never got out of the car. They had an awkward conversation and then she left. That was the last time he saw her, he said. It was a plausible story. It had just enough truth to make it believable. The next morning, just before sunrise, a cyclist riding along a road near the highway made a grim discovery. In a marshy area beside the road, she noticed something floating in the dark water. She stopped and moved closer. It was the body of a young woman. It was Lauren Ashley, found just 5 miles from town. A state police detective pulled back her shirt collar. What he found was unmistakable: a deep, fatal wound to her neck, a severe throat slash. An elastic cord was tangled in her hair. 18-year-old Lauren Ashley had been murdered. Her body was taken to the medical examiner's office. The investigation kicked into high gear. Police needed to prove that Nathan was responsible. They secured a warrant to search his home. What they found was damning. In the garage, investigators discovered blood on the floor, on the doorknob, in the kitchen sink, and in the bathroom sink. Someone had tried to clean the surfaces. In the basement, they found a black sports bag containing trainers completely caked in mud. In the attic, accessible from Nathan's bedroom, they found more shoes, blood-stained boots, and clothing. The mud on the trainers looked identical to the mud found near the swamp where Lauren's body was discovered. Lab analysis confirmed it. The mud matched. The blood on Nathan's clothes and boots matched Lauren's DNA, and the mud on his shoes came from that exact marshy area where her body was found. Nathan Fuja was placed on the wanted list immediately. He was found at his cousin's home just a few hours later. Shortly after midnight on July 4, 2011, the 18-year-old football player was taken into custody and charged with the murder of his ex-girlfriend. When police arrested Nathan, he said nothing. He remained silent during questioning. He offered no explanation, no remorse, nothing. This silence would continue for months, right through his trial. But something strange happened when Nathan was arrested. He told his cousin something chilling. He said the murder weapon would never be found. He also told her that he had driven Lauren's red Jeep to the city beach parking lot because he needed a break and wanted to spend time with her. How did he know these details? Nobody had told him yet. Nathan was charged with first-degree murder, assault, and battery with a dangerous weapon. The prosecutor pushed for him to be held without bail. The court agreed. When Nathan's trial began in February 2013, 18 months had passed since Lauren's death. The defense team had prepared their strategy. They didn't deny that Nathan killed Lauren. Instead, they argued that he was legally insane when he did it. The defense painted a picture of a young man suffering from severe clinical depression triggered by the breakup. They suggested that repeated head injuries from high school football may have contributed to his mental state. They claimed that on the night Lauren visited his house, Nathan experienced a manic episode, a brief psychotic break where he couldn't control his action. According to the defense, Nathan and Lauren went into the garage to talk, but then something snapped inside him. He grabbed an elastic cord, wrapped it around her neck, and began choking her. He had no control over himself. He felt disconnected from his own actions. Then, in his disturbed state, he repeatedly slashed Lauren's throat with the cord still wrapped around her neck. After the murder, Nathan drove her body to the marshy area where it was found. He abandoned her red Jeep at the beach, leaving her bag and laptop inside like a sick calling card. Then he went home and tried to clean up the evidence. Blood in the kitchen, blood in the bathroom. He stuffed his muddy shoes and bloody clothes into bags and hid them throughout his house. The prosecution presented a different narrative. They argued that Nathan's actions showed clear planning and intent. He knew what he was doing. He was jealous and obsessed. When Lauren ended their relationship and moved on with her life, it drove him into a rage. He had threatened violence before. He had shown possessive, controlling behavior. This wasn't insanity. This was premeditated murder. The jury heard testimony from mental health experts on both sides. The prosecution's experts testified that Nathan understood right from wrong. He knew his actions were illegal. He made choices. The defense's experts argued that Nathan's mental illness prevented him from understanding the nature of his action or controlling his behavior. After 3 weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated. They had to decide whether Nathan Fuja was guilty of first-degree murder or whether mental illness had rendered him legally insane at the time of the crime. The jury's verdict was guilty of first-degree murder. Nathan Fuja was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. An 18-year-old boy would spend the rest of his life behind bars for killing the girl he claimed to love. But this case didn't end with a guilty verdict. Lauren's parents, Malcolm and Mary, were devastated beyond measure. They had lost their daughter. They had lost their light, but they refused to let her memory fade. They refused to let her death be meaningless. Malcolm and Mary established the Lauren Ashley Memorial Foundation. It's a nonprofit dedicated to promoting the arts, community involvement, and healthy teen relationships. They travel to schools and community centers, speaking to teens about the dangers of obsessive relationships, about recognizing the warning signs of a possessive partner, about understanding that love should never come with control and manipulation. They talk about the incident at the dance in 2009, when Nathan threatened violence over a simple kiss. They talk about the tent collapsing at the graduation party, a moment of rage that was forgotten but should have been remembered. They talk about how controlling behavior, possessiveness, and jealousy are not signs of love. They are warning signs. They are red flags. And they talk about Lauren. They talk about her beautiful voice, her generous spirit, her capacity to care for others even when they had hurt her. They talk about an 18-year-old girl with her whole life ahead of her, standing on the threshold of her dreams. In January 2024, the Massachusetts Supreme Court overturned a law that required anyone under 20 at the time of their crime to serve life without parole. This decision sent shockwaves through the Ashley family. Nathan Fuja might one day be released from prison. The man who murdered their daughter, who took away their light, might walk free. It's a nightmare they never expected to face, a second tragedy on top of the first. But Malcolm and Mary continue their work. They continue to speak to teens. They continue to share Lauren's story. Because even though she's gone, her message lives on. Love should never come with chains. Love should never come with threats. Love should never end in violence. Lauren Ashley was 18 years old. She was vibrant, talented, and on the verge of an incredible future. She was someone who spent her life helping others, even when it cost her personally. She was someone worth remembering. She was someone whose story matters. If you're watching this and you're in a relationship that makes you feel controlled, possessive, or afraid, reach out for help. Talk to a trusted friend, a family member, a counselor, or call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. You deserve to be safe. You deserve to be treated with respect. You deserve love that doesn't come with chains. Thank you for watching U.S. Crime Files. If this case moved you, please like, subscribe, and share. We post new true crime cases